story begins with a young man named Tai, who is fresh out of the military and whose life is a mess. That's why he's been applying for many jobs to scrape by. As he's walking, he receives a message. He's been accepted for one of the jobs he applied for, and on top of that, he'll be paid $2,000 a week. This is a great opportunity. However, the salary is very high, which made Tai nervous that the job might have a catch. But the agent assures him that the job is clean and that he just has to look after a disabled elderly man. Tai goes to check out the job. As soon as he arrives at the house and knocks, a guy named Chewy answers. Chewy is laid back and seems to be the homeowner. He immediately checks Tai's temperature with a device to make sure he's not sick, but Tai's health is fine. Tai asks if he's the owner of the house, and Chewy says no, he's just an employee here. Tai introduces himself, saying he's 24 years old and just returned from compulsory service. He says he wants to work and prepare for exams and has had many jobs before, working in restaurants, cafes, and anything you can think of. Chewy says that's good, but tells him to pay close attention because he doesn't explain things more than once. Tai asks what his job will be, and Chewy tells him to come along and see. Chewy takes Tai straight to the disabled elderly man. He tells Tai that his job is to look after this man well and make sure he doesn't die on his watch. The man is wealthy, owning a large group of companies called S Group. His family doesn't want him to die yet because they don't want to incur the funeral expenses. Chewy then shows Tai what medicine to give him, saying to give it 3 times a day. He also shows him how to change his diapers. Finally, he tells Tai not to forget to turn him every 2 hours and massage him so his skin doesn't die from sleeping on one side. Later, Tai goes downstairs. Chewy is bored and annoyed in the house because they don't have internet and he has nothing to pass the time with. Tai pulls out his books to study, which further annoys Chewy. Chewy asks him if he plans to work as an employee when he finishes his studies. He tells Tai that if he thinks that way, he'll be poor his whole life, just getting a small amount of money thrown at him at the end of every month. Tai disagrees, saying he'd rather work for a secure company and get paid every month than constantly look for freelance work. Chewy replies that employment is very limiting, and Tai will never buy a house or a car from it. He gives himself as an example. He's had every job imaginable, but when he started his own business, he became rich, built a villa, and drove a Lamborghini and a Tesla. He recounts that he started his company in a country near Uzbekistan, but they framed him, took all his money, and kicked him out of the country with 0 dirhams. He concludes that someone who made money once can make it again. After Tai and Chewy finish eating, they are left with nothing to do. Chewy starts telling Tai about the residents of the area and shows him their files. He gets to one girl and says she's a scammer who tried to con a businessman out of 10 billion. But the man ruined her life, and now she's given up and is oblivious to everything. Tai stands up and leaves Chewy talking to himself, as it's time for the old man's massage. He feeds him, changes his diapers, and after the massage, he takes a shower, washing thoroughly because he hates this disgusting job. As he steps out of the shower, he finds a girl named Jen at the door. Chewy brought her to spend the night with them. He checks her temperature because if the old man catches an infection and dies, they'll all be in trouble. Jen learns that they are both caring for a millionaire. She thinks to herself, "This is the big score. This is the old man I'll use to start the projects I dream of." They all sit down together. Jen suggests a game called King's Game. They mix 3 small sticks, and whoever gets the king's stick rules the others. Jen gets the king's stick and decides to start with Tai. She tells him to pull out his phone and send a single text message to all the girls he has, telling them he has a crush on them at once. Tai refuses, so Chewy snatches his phone and decides to send the message himself. But he's shocked to find Tai only has one number, his mother's. Chewy feels bad for him, saying he's still young and doesn't know any girls or even have friends, but adds, "At least your mother calls you. My mother forgot about me and doesn't talk to me anymore." Jen interrupts, saying she came to have fun, not for a funeral. She suggests they drink something instead to forget their troubles. Finally, Jen tells them she's going to share a secret, but they must never tell anyone. She begins telling her story about a time when she was very poor and had nothing to eat. By chance, a millionaire saw her, took pity, and gave her a car and an apartment. But one day, he came to her, upset, and told her he was fighting with his wife because he had lost all his money, and they would probably divorce. He then asked her to pay off some large debts for him. She told him, "I'm poor. Search me. If you find a penny, take it." He locked her in the house and started hitting her. He was planning to kill her, but she kept outsmarting him until he fell asleep. She grabbed a pillow and suffocated him for a full minute. But when she removed the pillow, he was still alive. He grabbed her by the neck and started strangling her. She realized if she didn't kill him, he would kill her. So, she choked him again until he died. After all that trouble, she couldn't figure out what to do with the body, so she decided to cut it up with a cleaver and put it in big plastic bags to sell all his organs. Tai couldn't handle what he was hearing, and he quickly got up, holding his mouth. As he left, Jen started laughing and told Chewy, "Your friend is so soft. He believed my story so quickly." We learned that she was just making it up. Afterward, they hear a commotion coming from the old man's room. They rush upstairs but don't find him in bed. They find the 4 drip on the floor. Chewie panics and rushes downstairs to look for him. Suddenly, the old man attacks him and tries to strangle him. Tai, without realizing it, rushes over, hits the old man on the head, and knocks him out. The bigger problem is that as soon as the old man falls, Tai chokes him, holding him down until he dies. The person who was supposed to protect him from death ended up being his killer. When Jen sees the man die, she gets scared and tells them, "Goodbye. You two are the murderers. You deal with it." But they stop her and tell her that they all shared in this crime and must all find a solution. Jen suggests they all escape the house, but they say their information is recorded, and the police will catch them immediately. In the end, they decide that his death must appear natural. They put him back in his bed, rehung the serum, and cleaned up all the blood. By chance, Jen discovers a camera hidden in the eye of a stuffed deer. When they search the house further, they find it's full of cameras. This means everything they did was recorded, and they have no way to escape. After this, they hear a knock at the door. When they open it, they find a ninja. The ninja pulls out a sword, puts it to Chewie's neck right away, and tells him, "I pay you to protect the old man," and you end up being his murderer. As the two of them try to explain what happened, they hear Tai screaming upstairs. They rush up and find the old man holding Tai and biting his neck like a vampire. The ninja quickly attacks the old man and hits him to make him let go of Tai, but this time he actually kills him. This is how they find out that the old man they thought was dead is still alive. He attacks Tai again to kill him, but Tai quickly kills him instead. After this, they go downstairs. The ninja pours some drinks to help them forget the problem. Our friends try to trick him into letting them leave the house, but he refuses, saying, "No one is leaving here until we find a solution to this disaster." Jen offers a solution, asking for the sword and some big plastic bags to dismember the body. The ninja refuses, saying the police would find the blood. He says he has a friend who's an expert at this and will bring him to fix everything and make it look like the old man committed suicide. Finally, he tells them, "I'm going to go get him and come back. Don't think about escaping from here because I have your ID cards." Now the ninja leaves. Chewie searches the rooms, looking for any gold or something expensive. Despite searching everywhere, he finds nothing valuable. There is one room left, and he tries to open it but can't. He thinks to himself that this is the room with the treasure. He finds the keys and enters the room, but it's only filled with candles, like a shrine. He finds 2 other doors with "Do Not Enter" written on them. Strangely, one door doesn't even have a place for a lock. Elsewhere, the ninja goes to the old man's brother and starts explaining that his brother is very sick and doesn't have long to live. The brother replies, "I know, and let him die so he can be sure that immortality is impossible." He tells the ninja to get straight to the point. The ninja asks to take his brother's place and duties after he dies, but the old man's brother refuses, saying he has 10 other men who are better than him. He then starts eating his food and looks for a diamond that the cook always puts in it, just to pass the time. The diamond falls into the ice. The ninja comes in, takes hot coffee, and pours it on the ice, allowing him to retrieve it. This greatly pleases the old man's brother. He tells him, "Now you can work with me, but on one condition. Bring me the diamond my brother stole from me." Let's return to Tai and his friends. They were all annoyed. Out of despair, Tai confesses that he wasn't studying to become a civil servant. He was forced to accept any job to pay off his father's debt. His father was an alcoholic who borrowed large sums and, when he died, left all the borrowed money to a street girl. Tai admits that his father took out some loans in his name, and he has to pay them back. Chewie then confesses that his mother had all the money, but she gave it to some people. Since then, he hasn't seen them or her. They all disappeared. Jen also wants to confess her problems, but Chewie interrupts her, saying he'll tell them the story of a famous scammer named Dean. Tai and Jen both say they know the story. Chewie then says, "Listen to the shock. That scammer is the old man who is dead upstairs. He says he is there not to change his diapers but to monitor him." He adds, "That man is a devil and never dies." Tai and Jen are shocked. Chewie reminds them, "Didn't you notice that Jen suffocated him and he stayed alive? He does this in many countries." He says the old man disappears after they think they killed him and then reappears somewhere else with new strength. Tai doesn't believe him, asking why he's monitoring him if he never dies. Chewie replies, "I'm monitoring him because he has a rare, priceless diamond." He says the diamond is in the 2 doors that don't open, and he asks for their help to get it and then escape. Tai and Jen are convinced. They all go up to the room. Tai hits the door with a big rock until it opens. When they enter, they find a safe that opens with a fingerprint. They decide to bring the old man to open it. But Jen says, "Forget all that trouble." She cuts off his finger to open the safe. Despite this, when they put the finger on the fingerprint scanner, it doesn't open. Tai says, "Maybe we took the wrong finger." They cut off another finger, but it still doesn't open. They repeat this process until they've cut off 9 fingers. Just as they go down to cut off the last finger, they find the man who's supposed to make the old man's death look like suicide has arrived. After Chewie checks his temperature, they take him straight up. But as soon as he removes the covers, he starts crying. The man eventually goes downstairs without doing his job. Chewie teases the man about his crying. The man gets angry and says, "That man upstairs is the founder of the Namli group, and he's my inspiration." He tells them that the old man had a way to stay alive. He had to kill someone every now and then. The first person he killed was a stupid woman with a black mark on her head. Chewie asks if the woman knew how to walk with her right leg. The man says yes. Chewie realizes the old man killed his mother. The man continues, saying that the old man met a girl, and they agreed to kill her rich boyfriend, making it look like suicide and taking his money. Finally, he shows them the notebooks where everything is recorded. Chewie attacks the man, trying to kill him, saying, "That stupid woman is my mother, and now I'm going to kill you." The man replies that he didn't know she was his mother. The man then turns on Chewie and tries to kill him, but Jen hits him with a rock. This is because she discovered that he was the one who killed her husband. Jen and Chewie then fight over the 10th finger. Chewie bites her, and in the end, they both kill each other. Meanwhile, Tai was reading the notebooks to see if his father was listed. He finds him listed, but next to it is a note that says, "Kill anyone who dies." At the same moment, Chewie wakes up and gives him the finger, telling him to get the diamond before the old man comes back to life. Tai doesn't believe him and starts packing his things to leave. But before he leaves, he finds the ninja has returned. The ninja immediately stabs him in the stomach with his sword. He then goes to Chewie and kills him to confirm his death. Finally, the ninja takes the finger and puts it on the lock, which immediately opens. He finds the diamond, but it was radiating a strong blue light. In the blink of an eye, the old man stands over him, having returned to life and transformed into a vampire. After these events, Tai wakes up. He sees the old man going upstairs. The shock is that when he checks his stomach, he finds no wound. He then checks the book of the old man's crimes, but finds it has turned into a book full of demonic talismans. He runs as fast as he can and escapes from the cursed house. The story doesn't end there. Another person will surely come to look after the old man, and the events will repeat again.